right, folks, happy Thursday. Getting ready here, just getting settled in, and let's get to it. Bring everybody's attention over to harmonictrader.com, register as a basic member, and remember, check out the options seminar June 30th, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So get signed up there. You got to subscribe. New purchasers, upgrade, renewals on HPC software, you guys are eligible to join. Going to be a good event. Really great event. I'll show you what I'm doing on options. I'll even go through a couple things I posted this morning. What's going on, chat? Great to see everybody in there. First person in today, because we give away a few things every Thursday. Edward T 28, you win the gold. James, I'll give you the volume 8 when I write volume 8. I'll give away another book and a couple more gold memberships. People that win a gold membership, you guys can come to the seminar. So hang out. Let's get into it. If you have any questions, get to the Discord. Check out with myself. You can send me a message or catch up with Miss Stephanie or someone else. All right? A lot going on. I mean, just a lot. Wait, one second before I say that. Hold up. 1 second. Hold on, please. Okay. I've been doing a lot of things this morning, so I'll get into what's happening. And of course, let's jump over. There's Palantir. It's one of my favorites. That's something that's really starting to move. Continue to think that will go higher. But I think best place to start is the QQQ, especially after yesterday. Look, techs are running. I mean, it's amazing. 358. Sorry, let's get back here. We talked earlier this week about a hop level at 370 on the QQQ, and that's clearly where this thing is going. Could hit it by tomorrow. 370.74. And so this whole tech story doesn't stop. That's why I've been saying the last many sessions that this is the place to be for what's happening right now. 5-minute time frame. Let's see, what do we have right now? Any kind of midday? We do have another situation from yesterday, bearish bat, but just a reaction. And I talked about that even Tuesday and last week of bearish patterns and uptrends. They're going to give you reactions, and if anything, nice opportunities to be looking for the return move within this larger trend. Get some perspective there. Also, the Qs did have this amazing crab yesterday. So I don't know if anyone caught that. I know a few of you did. So we posted this in the Discord. I know I did here, of type 1 crab on the 5-minute and then came right back. That's what set this recent run off. I mean, that's why you're bolting higher right now. So, be mindful of that. We're still producing 5-minute patterns over and over again on these retracements. Wow, Meta's almost at 280. Microsoft's 346. Let's get into those creatures because they're monsters. Microsoft, folks, amazing. Right at a hop level of the deep crab on a 5-minute, 346 now. And it was what? Where was the pattern from a couple days ago? Yeah, I'll come back to that. But the big deal with Microsoft, it hit the shark. Okay, so by definition, even better on the weekly, we've now reached that 1618. There you go. So we're now on Microsoft today, literally this morning. We've reached that 1618 extension. And that was 342.70, 343. Everything you see here is a shark. And with that kind of a shark, even the all-time high, 349, they'll probably get that and clip it tomorrow. Remarkable. Remarkable stuff. I mean, it's continues too. And I want everyone to stick with what we have called the summer playbook, which is run with these trends, run with these targets, especially patterns that have been generated preceding this move, and just ask yourself, okay, for a lot of these that are on their way or getting close, you're either going to do an 886 run, which Microsoft has clearly done, or you're going to do just a mind-blowing breakout. Then you get to a 1618, because for me, I really don't think there's a lot of argument here of you'll know really soon. Like today would be the first day that you would look at the weekly scenario and say, all right, I'll look at that shark. Is there any confirmation up there? Because otherwise, if no, and this is just a pause point or the first objective, you got a ways to go. Got a ways to go. It was remarkable. So that's not going to stop either. And again, just because it feels like, oh, we missed that bottom, or we should have been calling out these patterns when they were getting generated. I mean, we did. And now you see kind of the effect of a long-term pattern playing out so incredibly well. This stuff, it's the interesting thing is that when you see something like Microsoft doing what it's doing off this weekly pattern, okay, back here at 220, we were like, yeah, is it going to hold? Is it not going to hold? But once that thing stabilized and really started to take shapes, since January, we knew this thing was clearly in a major development phase for a move higher. And now you just have to ask yourself, what's going to be the magnitude of this breakout? Is it going to be another Nvidia? Got to see. We got to see. Let's do our top five. Let's do our top five. Okay, Microsoft number 1, number 2, Apple, and Apple's just rocking. Apple, check this out. Another example of summer playbook working out. 2 days ago, Apple had that little teeny Gartley. But this stuff matters. This is exactly the kind of thing you're looking for, where the 5-minute patterns give you those signposts within the uptrend with intraday little signals, and still follows the type 1 reaction, and then in the post-Fed flush comes back down, gives you a dot. That's the other thing. Give me a dot, a simple 5-minute dot on a pullback. Then we go again. So, folks, if you're on the software, okay, I'm trying to really pinpoint those areas, and many of you know, okay, of how accurate the program can be. Problem is, just what do you need to do to get in front of it, to be prepared, to be there? With the option seminar on the 30th, we're going to combine both, looking at the 5-minute opportunities, the 5-minute patterns with the options, and then mix it in directionally as well, because we want to be going with the trend. Apple, currently a butterfly, but even if we got a little pullback, here's another situation of a 5-minute pattern. I would say that's only going to be a reaction. That's how I would, that's my assumption straight off. And if we get a reaction, I'll look for another dot and look for the return move, because Apple Much the same way as Microsoft. Tell me what it's doing up here. Okay, are we going to blow the doors off? Because we're at all-time new highs. It's not going to be more than another week or two of a strong uptrend to where you know that this thing is on a rope. And it's more than just a retest of the all-time high. One takeaway, just since last December, you get a trend line like that, and it's continuing above all-time new highs. That's quite strong. I do think it's interesting that last week Apple put in a yellow dot, bearish, like first bearish signal, bearish dot we have seen on a weekly since all the way back there. Okay, maybe it's a touch early. I'm looking at this area, but if it explodes through that dot, much like it did, say, back on that retest or even that retest, it's telling you there's more to go. So it just be aware, Apple, top of our list, coming off a type 2. And if it's really going to run, again, this is going to be a 161 breakout. 220, folks. 220. And how many times have we been saying these stocks, Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, Netflix, Nvidia, and then just say, yeah, okay, the targets are like 50, 100 points higher, and they're playing out. It's just a time deal. And that's something, within the whole process of getting from A to B, okay, there is that in between where you got to ride it no matter what. And so minor gyrations might seem like an insane amount, but they're not. That's on its way. 185 to 220 could happen, but before the end of the year. Imagine if these earnings blow out too. I mean, you got earnings coming up in 6 weeks, less than 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Very strong in earnings. Number 3, folks, I think we got to say Nvidia. Welcome to the Trillion Club. And Nvidia just continues to rocket higher. Even, look, if you were shorting that, I don't know why you would be. You would still have to respect the strength of that move and wait for some early signs. And that's not there. Even with this little blip here, you're into like a 1618 mini extension, which is like 450, 448. That's where you are. I mean, you're like the other chart, like what we saw on Apple or Microsoft, on a shorter term version of that. That's what you're looking at. Strong breakout, follow through move. It's nuts. I mean, that's how strong this stuff is. And it doesn't matter if Nvidia is a trillion market cap. Maybe it goes to 1,000,005, because Nvidia is really the poster child of that blowout breakout type move. There's the all-time high here, blowing right through. Looks more like this. Bring that down. There you go. And likelihood of that being a 1618 breakout, pretty nice, pretty good. 1618 gets you to right about there. 490. You're making a run at 500, whether you like it or not. At what point? That's where you're waiting for 5-minute breakouts. 5-minute. Look at what happened in Nvidia just a couple days ago. 5-minute chart. Come on back. Where'd you go? There it was. Yeah, we had a little bat pattern. It was back on the 11th. What was that, Tuesday? And then came back down for a perfect type 2. That's what we're looking for. That's, line these up. Understand that they're happening. 5-minute patterns like that are coming along once or twice a week in these major pullbacks. at least these ones that are really running. So it's not going to be there every time you go to look for it. It might not be developing yet, but we're going to get those opportunities as they come together. Understand though that yes, we've come a long way so far since early January. It's insane. It's a complete mind ripping rally here, and the FOMO is going to continue in the next few weeks. Like classic summer rally setup for a major, what I think would be a major peak into the summer. But you're going to run. We haven't even started summer. We start summer in a week. But imagine we run that into July, August. It can be a heck of a lot of follow through. A couple more heck of a follow through. Let's continue that list on our mega tech. Number 4, Netflix has got to be, and Netflix has got a long way to go. We've mentioned this Netflix to 500 because the all-time 618 right off the low gets you there. I mean, it's remarkable that with that, looking back now, I mean 160 to 440. But if we're going to continue on this rope, 500, and just so that you know, Netflix all-time 886 is 650. Just so that I've said that. Netflix 886 is at 650. All right, so forget about where you were a year ago at 150. You're at 450, and that longer term target, just with a bad action magnet move on the weekly, developing, just triggered like 2 weeks ago, is possible. There you go. Remove all the arrows, just so you see it. That's number 4. Number 5, I guess number 4 was Meta. I didn't really get into that, and I'll flip those around from time to time. But Meta is number 5, and Meta, I think you can be gunning for 296.44 straight up. Until that happens, you're there. And there's really, I find this one of the stronger ones because, look, you're holding above the 50 level. If you could turn back up, that would be super strong on the weekly. And you're still lingering overbought, but expanding. So still catch that follow through, and how to do that. 5-minute pullbacks, kids. 5-minute pullbacks. We had this yesterday. I mean, amazingly, Meta was 270 yesterday. And I was posting that. Who's here from the Discord? Saw me posting that. And I just don't know. I don't even know if there's really that many people in the Discord, in the gold members area. And I think we should probably be highlighting this stuff more because these are the best opportunities in the market currently, bar none. And the 5-minute opportunities with the option patterns have just been back to back to back. So there you go. Another opportunity. You're a little overbought at the moment, but another 5-minute pattern within an uptrend. Come on down, and we'll look for the next 5-minute dot, and then let that continue. 282 at this point, sure. I mean, tomorrow. The big deal about NASDAQ, QQQ, all of these is that your overall assumption now more than ever is an 886 retest. You don't care. You don't care about recession, interest rates, inflation, president, anybody, anything. Structurally, that's how you identify it. That's how, that's our framework right there, clearly. And it's incredible how quickly that stuff can really take shape like this. But this has been what we've been arguing for a while, you know. First challenge August with an 886, and then once you do the shark, a harmonic breakout, and you're there quickly. QQQ, you know, 368 already. 886 is 395. Call it 400. Call it 400. And it's led by those top tier stocks. The other one's not really moving. I mean, that's fine, but it just, you got to be staying with the ones that are running. Now, I will highlight before I jump over to a couple other ones. Listen, some of the more boring stuff is running, and Intel is another one. I'm just going to continue to hit this for you folks. That I'm just going to say Intel to target 1. Okay, Intel to target 1. It's happening now. It's not going to take until September. You know, that's happening now. That's happening like, that will be the response into earnings. Earnings coming up, actually, yeah, 6 weeks away. So, I'll at least make a run at it. That's, you know, I think that one, I'm going to bore everybody with some profitable trades here. Slow, steady, but again, over and over again, Philip Morris. Okay, we were down on that between 90 91 bucks. Now closing in on 95. That stuff can be boring, but within the harmonic pattern framework, it's smooth. It is smooth. That's what we want to do over and over again. Let me give you one more. Just to kind of blow through these, but CVX, Chevron, slow, steady, but perfect 2 of 2. Okay, I think minimum 170 go at 66 is target 1 retest from 152.47. Okay, I for a while, I don't know, past few months I've been saying don't ignore these big cap, old money, old, you know, stodgy old companies like this, as long as they've got some volume, for really clean moves. Really clean. Few more. Let me highlight 1 or 2 new things, and then I'll hit a couple of your recommendations, folks. Here's something new. I'm still looking at this. It's not a go just yet, but I think pretty soon. There's enough time that's passed now. Macy's, it really in a nice spot. The other one, is this another sleeper? Oh, is that it? No. Well, Wayfair looks pretty nice, but I think Etsy was the other one where, yeah, there you go, Etsy. So think of it this way. Stuff like Macy's and Etsy, you see those shark patterns on the daily. They're oversold. They've stabilized. Yes, they've bounced a nice bounce so far. But what we're looking for is the acceleration soon. So eyes on that. Eyes on, you know, some triggers down here in things like Macy's and Etsy. You know, 5-minute pullbacks. Let's see if we can get something. Nothing right here yet. Here was something just a couple days ago. Crab pattern at 88. Now 94. Look for those bigger patterns. Use the smaller term time frames against those zones. Do it for tech. Do it for these type. A lot of things are, you know, just continue to give nice moves here. And if this market really opens up, I mean, let's go to the SPY quickly. S&P 500, because it shows you that this rally has been broader than most, and this too. So the SPY as well. Okay, sailed right on through. We have the butterfly from last year, excuse me, the deep crab from last year. The major target at 429 has been eviscerated. So that's in a full-blown shark where SPY makes a run to the all-time new high at 480. I mean, 886 on the SPY puts you, roughly around 465. But this B to C move needs really to be a 1618 as well. That's above 480. So broader market, yeah. Broader market trying to spread out, definitely. And that looks, like it's ready to go. And you can see that in some of the other old economy stocks. Dow Diamonds are doing something I think are going to be. It's really difficult to see this at the moment. I do think it's a shark. Like the rest of them, they're all going to make a run at the all-time highs. We're going to break out here. With this one, okay, if the diamonds do what it's going to do, it's, a real high level consolidation zone. Really kind of incumbent of the type of zones that are more sideways pausing actions of a larger continuation, because you have to look at the diamonds like this on the weekly long term. Minimum 886 retracement. It's really, we've been suggesting this. We were suggesting this even as recently as, as late last year. We were saying, well, why wouldn't the diamonds go do an 886? They're so close. And I just think at a minimum, yeah. What will probably happen with the diamonds, because you have to just dissect it off of this year's price action, connect the dots. Looks like this. Just take it off of this year, because we have the alignment of your X, A, and B point is almost at a perfect 886 there, where this becomes a deep crab. So you're looking for the breakout. You'll probably get a big candle on the weekly, if not this week, next week, above 347, and that goes into a full 1618. Once you do that, I mean, really, once the diamonds get above that 347, 348 level, and I would even argue that this week's the first week, because really it's busting that B point, that we may have just entered a little acceleration zone for the diamonds, for the industrials, that takes you pretty quickly from 44 to 68. So, I mean, it's just absolutely screamer. I like that. I mean, I really, let that be obvious, and then we'll jump over to play the likes of Boeing and Caterpillar. Some of those have started to really heat up. I mean, here's Boeing. Sorry, here's Boeing on the weekly. Let's try that again. And be ready to pop over to these. Beautiful shark on that weekly. But Boeing's been in a sideways range for months, most of the year, actually. But getting ready, just this week, popped above a critical level where it could go to the hop at 246 to 260 pretty quickly. And think about it this way. Something like Boeing, barely even close to the 50% level. I think all of that pointing higher. What do you guys have? A couple of new ones. AT&T. Wow. I don't think AT&T. I'll look at it. AT&T though is just not the kind of market. We're looking for stuff that's doing this longer term. We want to see stuff like that. Okay, AT&T's like that. So I'm not really a fan of trying to fight the trend with long positions. Yes, there's an 886, and it's probably a bat pattern or a shark pattern, something. Yeah, it's a shark down there. And maybe you could get a target one rally, but I'd rather be looking for uptrends and then have a correction within the uptrend and continue. Baba. Yeah, Baba's one that's starting to move. JD as well. Came back down for that retest at around 84, and it's now you go. Why? Because hey, look at the big pattern. This is another one where if the market starts to spread out, this rally starts to spread out, look out. Look out. Here's that JD. That's the other one. Yep. That was on a retest at around 36, and this is a perfect type 2, folks. So that might be not bad for a call option, but a different type. You'd need to go further out on that. Couple of more. Here's a few individual things that I like. Here's Qualcomm. Still like it. And I think this thing's going to come out. It's just trying to break out of that downtrend there. And you got some patterns behind it. A couple of shark bat patterns. Just trying to come back to life. Of course, I like Palantir. Palantir just does not stop. Look at the weekly. If you want to get some perspective on Palantir, all-time 382 is at $20. So just look for 5-minute pullbacks like it did yesterday and stick with it. PayPal, I do like. Who said that? Marbob6. What's going on, Marbob? Yeah, because remember what we looked at here? Check that. It's a perfect type 2 alternate bat on PayPal. 59.19 was the exact low, folks. 58.95. Exact enough. Now popping off. Looks like it's going to try to do a 3-bar breakout. Look, here's the zone. If you could close above 65.20, that's official. 3-bar breakout. They look good. Yeah. Chipotle Weekly. I haven't looked at that in a couple of weeks. What's that done since earnings? Well, there's your daily. Now, who put this one up? Ivan. What's going on, Ivan? I like the pattern here, but it's a great example of something that is just pausing and now probably going to push higher. Why? You have a bullish HSI in the zone. Not to mention, look, pattern completed back in April, and you just went sideways for 60, 70 days, and then you register a bullish reading. Usually that means you're going to go run the higher zone. So we'll look at Chipotle, lots of great patterns. The daily at 1300 back in January was amazing, and that comes after the deep crab from last year at 1200. So this is a harmonic stock, no doubt. What's the weekly look like? Yeah, weekly's got a big fat butterfly. And you have a dot. I like it, but you're still, even with that, you probably come back and retest that zone because you're pushing higher on the daily. I think it makes a run at 2200 before it rolls over. A few more. Let's look at some low floaters. Someone put Lucid, and I thought this was interesting because I came across that one. There's Lucid. It's a type 2 deep crab with a yellow dot at 6. So looking good. Just understand these type of low floaters are going to take time. So you could go sideways. The market could be rocking and your this position doesn't move until you get some kind of catalyst. Just beware of that. Yeah, I think was it this Nicola? Wasn't there something here? This thing is a penny stock. Wasn't that in bankruptcy? No, it wasn't that one. Although nice triple off the low. What's the other one? It's Lucid. It's not this Nicola. There's one other stock, one other car stock. It escapes me at the moment. Come back to that. Here's something, another low floater. I think I posted this a while back, but this Community Health Systems. This is there you go, on the daily. Couple of big patterns down there. Generally around $4. I think the weekly time frame is, yeah, big bat pattern. And that's around 350. It's a type 2 with a dot. Thank you. Rivian was the one I wanted to look at. 14. I know the number. Oh, now it's 15. Okay, 14 on Rivian. So this one did catch my eye. Someone mentioned this a week ago. Maybe it was you, Claire, or it was Swooping Hawk. One of you guys. It's a crab. 1436. I think we had that confirmation. It just was, we were saying low floater. It'll go sideways, but this is how you capture these lower prices. You got to do the work. It just, anytime you get in a position like that, understand that if you did nothing for 30 days after your execution, you're not surprised. But you'll get there. Definitely. It's these are, I like those. Those are the kind of ones you do want to speculate on. Neo. Neo's another one. You had confirmation down at 750. You're now 975. Okay. And again, I like these because at least they're perking up. And just because they're popping today doesn't mean you're not going to get a 5-minute pullback next week where you can get another entry in its progression on its way to essentially what you would have to look for is target 1. If this is going to work, you're at least going to get back into the zone, which is above 10. But I think target 1 at 1386 is likely if it really gets going. But there's been a few of these. Palantir is the one, I think, where you can really see what's happening once that gets going. You know, after a long extended downtrend and then it really gets going, you know, yeah, that's insane, 7 to 1650. But we go to the weekly, it was 42 2 years ago. So it's a major cycle recovery. Another one that I mentioned last week, which was Warner Brothers Discovery, had a nice little pop off. Coming back right now, but okay, yeah, probably comes back for the type 2 now on that, done with that shark. But you know, this has got a ways to go. That was 70. Now it's 13. Yeah, Jake with Carvana, another perfect prime example. Now it's back at 26. Listen, this thing popped off last week, was as high as 27, and then came back under 20. And look at the 5-minute chart on this. I knew it. I forgot. I posted this, took my eye off of that, but yeah, it was 26, came all the way back down to 18, printed some patterns down there. Now you're back up. And why? Because look at your long-term trend. I'm not saying it's going back to all-time new highs, but once you're able to stabilize some kind of base formation, then you've got some structure behind you. And take a look. Let's connect dots because this is probably most likely scenario. Make a run off of that previous high from September, and you go X, A, B. Breakout point was 20, so you came back, retested that. 886 gets you to 38. I like that. I do like that. I think that's like Palantir. You wait for the pullback intraday and you keep strategizing for that setup. Couple of more. AMD and semis. I think AMD and semis, all of these, okay, printing some bearish patterns right now. But any pullback, you got to like it because there's the weekly. And you're coming off this massive BAP pattern. Target 2 at 122.48. Makes sense why you're pausing here. So let it pause. But longer term, it's a finite scenario. I mean, you take out those highs and you do a little pause and then go higher. It not only does it go to the 886, but that's a breakout to all-time new highs once you get going. Plenty of time. Just plenty of time there. I mean, be aware that it's made a lot of progress, but the next leg as it takes shape over the next many months will run these like they do for Nvidia and Microsoft and the rest of them. Couple more. We looked at Nikola already. Don't really need to do energy too much other than be aware of what we said in recent sessions. Okay, you're looking for this thing, crude oil to stabilize right in it where it is now, between 65 and 70. Okay, it's been all over the place the last week, up and down, but just continue to make progress and not take out the obvious lows, 65 and then 68, stair step its way out of here. Probably hourly charts even better. Yep. Yeah, hourly chart 67 for light sweet crude. We're looking for this to put in a low right here. Same with those others, those energy stocks. Couple of more. Of course, XLE. Daily. I mean, that's, just perfect retest of the XA level. So you could say, all right, I missed it. I was not there exactly at 76.50, and I missed that type 2 with zero confirmation. All right, so be it. There was things there. From a bigger takeaway perspective, if crude oil, XLE, can get above 82, all right, that should be the leg that opens up the recovery for the rest of those stocks. Remember, crude oil, energy stocks, and financials, if those things start putting in a bid and start going up, the rest of the market's going to take off. That's how it happens. Couple of more. All right. Wow, you guys, maybe we should do a vote. Looks like everyone wants Square. What's Square doing? Just a pause after an HSI. Yeah, the weekly squares. I knew there was a weekly pattern. Look at that shark on square. So 65, that's the terminal bar low. I think anything under 65 is probably gets you going. Although crypto is the most disappointing asset class turning out to be of this year. We'll get to crypto in a second. I completely skipped crypto on Monday. Few more. Somebody wanted the wheat. I don't know what that is. What is wheat? Isn't that the Techrum? Yeah, Techrum Wheat Fund. Yeah, weekly bat pattern, sure. $6. How are you going to trade it? I mean, I great pattern. Beautiful. A whole bunch of patterns. $6. Not a bad one. Just it's going to be super slow. I mean, talk about slow. That's just going to be super slow, but sure. Patterns are there. So I do appreciate you at least looking it up and citing that pattern. Couple more. Snowflake. Yeah, starting to bust the move off that butterfly weekly. I think you got to look at 222. Again, just because you're not there right at terminal bar doesn't mean you can't use the pattern as an overall strategy for playing markets. I mean, that's a clear return here. Going to make a run probably at 222. The daily, there you go. Another perfect return phase. Are you going to blow out the bat here? Because that's what you would need to do. I mean, 145 to 185 in short order because it's a type 2 retest. But it's probably after today. So let it do its thing today, and then into next week, if it's going to blow off, it's going to be above 185, 190, and go straight to 222, which looks like what's happening there on Snowflake. Vestige, yes, end phase. That's one of our premium picks, and we like that. It's a major pullback within that uptrend. Okay, almost back down to that 160 level. That's what you're looking for. This is a slow but steady mover. Mentioned this against this weekly long-term uptrend. That's what that arrow is all about. Again, not all stocks are the same. Some are moving lightning speed, breaking out new highs, but the majority are doing stuff like this, early development. Need a lot more time. Micron. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you guys a new one. I think I gave it to you last time. I like Micron, but you're just pausing at target 1 off of that big bat pattern from last year. But I still say any major pattern like this can run to target 2. Hey, let's take a second and let's give away another gold membership. Next person that types in GOLD get you a 30-day gold software and gets you attending the options seminar. Check that out. While you're typing in gold, I'm going to type in a new tech to be looking at. This is Illumina. Beautiful. Neelam Sharma, you win. You got to contact Miss Stephanie on the Discord. But look at this one. Okay, shark pattern, bat pattern, sideways, sideways, sideways for a long time. It's just a matter of time. So I like this. This is probably going to be a 3 ideas, folks. Anywhere under here, 210, 200, it really doesn't matter. That game's going to play catch up soon. We'll give away another gold membership before we clear out, okay? Just hang in there, everybody. A couple more. let's look at something. This is a sleeper semi I mentioned to you guys way back, and you got to go on a daily here. It's back to back. It's a 2 of 2 now with confirmation at 38.78. This is Tower Semi. I think this thing could gather some steam here. So anywhere between 39 and 40 bucks should be the launch pad because it's 2 of 2. Both of the bat and the crab. I like those semis. I think, you know, you look at Nvidia, you look at Intel, these have a ways to go. There was one other one. Wasn't Applied Materials. It was, I think it was KLAC. Maybe not. I'll have to come back to that. Oh, well, let's look at that on a 5-minute. There you go. KLAC. Yeah, nice one. Type 2 Gartley. I mean, that's a high-flying semiconductor. Maybe not as liquid as some of the other ones, but perfect Type 2 coming in there. One or two more. I did want to show you guys the Russell. Okay, the Russell ETF 2000. Here's your weekly. Really unusual for relative to, say, NASDAQ, S&P, even the Dow. I mean, that looks like, you know, if that was to fail, that looks like a nasty bearish flag. Looks like a little foot. And looks like it wants to break down. That's one of the uglier charts that I've seen. I just, you know, it really remains to be seen what's going to happen here. Go to the daily time frame. You did have a couple of back-to-back patterns recently. I mean, look, 4 patterns to be specific. So, you know, not the place to be, though, obviously, because the Russell 2000, smaller stocks, still range-bound. And until they break out, you know, that's not where you want to be. You could sit there and it do nothing while other sectors just run super hard. All right, Jake, you got the last one for today before I jump to crypto, because I do need to give crypto at least its 2-second polish, if you will. Crowdstrike. Yeah, the Crowdstrike Holdings. Another one on a deep crab. I think we mentioned that. But a sleeper. I mean, again, this one, look at the weekly chart. Remarkable. You know, go from 280 down to 100. Yeah, maybe on a 5-minute. Yeah, that's popping off right now. But again, let's get these kind of recommendations when you see 5-minute patterns like that and like that. So 148, 150. It's 2 opportunities just in the last 3 days to jump in on that uptrend. And actually, look, even a week ago, look at that perfect 2 of 2. I don't disagree. Those are nice to look at, but what we want are opportunities to really jump in on that. All right, let's jump to crypto. Let's just run through the top 10, because Bitcoin is below where it should be, quite frankly, and it's just turning me off. It's just not going to give you much there. I mean, it's look at it, it's making new lows again. So the low end of what we were looking at for over a month has been violated. Today's the 15th. Doesn't stop. Probably continues into the 15th, and it probably does some kind of 1618 grinding like this. 23, maybe 21. And now the target one at 37. I mean, I don't know. That was the plan for this year, eventually to get to 37, 320, but not like this. Not when I don't have a problem that it's back at 25,000. I just don't like the fact that it's rolling over like a duck. And you're 3 months practically since you originally tested any kind of major progress, which was seriously above 25,000, and just up and rolling back over. And I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, don't kill me, but 20,935 is target one on that. It's not what you want to see, but enough time has passed where you go sideways, 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 and you just keep cracking the lows, and you do this, even with confirmation. I think everyone that's in crypto that's not trading options, you need to come to the seminar on the 30th. Because if you're going to stick around in crypto, it's going to be a long time. That's all I got to say about that. So Bitcoin, come on back down. I mean, your low end here could be as low as 29.35. You're not going to hold this. I mean, you're already at the uptrend. You're already at the uptrend of off of the January low. Whatever this was, no confirmation there. What a duck. What a duck. Couple more. Ethereum, so Ethereum cracked it too. So Ethereum fails it. I don't know how that bat pattern formed just recently. Where did that come in? Oh, it was typical Binance bad tick stuff. And you just have to say, all right, step aside on that. It's going to take a lot more time. Nothing, our 2,400 target, that might get hit, but it might not be this year. You might spend a lot more time, folks, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come back to 1,400. It's just, I've been saying that crypto has been increasingly frustrating, disappointing. Now it's just outright becoming garbage material. Zombie assets. Stinks. You're not going to get the progress. I don't really care. Because it could go to 20,000 Bitcoin, or Ethereum could go back to 1,400. And then a year from now, we could be raging. But it's probably a year from now. Again, the whole halving argument, the halving cycle, it's not starting. If it was going to start, it would have started now. And so I'll see what goes on between now and 30 days after the 21st. I know a lot of you here are involved with harmonic patterns because of crypto. Please understand the framework, the metrics, the structures, and the lack of price action 30, 60, 100 weeks after these patterns, major patterns, is just a sign of dud action. And at a minimum, just come on back. Come on back to your primary 45-degree uptrend on that. And if you were to run a primary 45-degree uptrend on Ethereum and just assume, and this is your best case scenario, by the way. Let's say that 45-degree uptrend holds. If you stretch it out and this maintains a 45-degree uptrend, you do not get to target one now. Let's get it really tight. May 2024. And that's how we measure to make those assessments. You use the trend lines, you use the slope. Okay? You're back on that track, if you will. And you better hope there better be some kind of confirmation real quick to at least get that scenario fired back up. If not, well, then you're dealing with some other creature. That's your best case scenario right now. Best case. And that's a year from today. A year from May. This past May. That's why I'm doing the option thing on the 30th. I've been talking a lot about the options because with these tech running the way they are, that's where the trading money is going to be made. Hey, let's give away another gold membership so somebody can attend. Next person to type in GOLD, you'll get a 30-day gold membership. I'm going to go about another 5 or 10 minutes and wrap up here, but let's finish the list as we get through. Scott, hey, cool name. Scott Soltis, you win the gold. You got to jump over to contact Miss Stephanie. If anyone needs to get on the Discord, again, start at Harmonic Trader, go to the basic members page, and the Discord information is number 4. Click the link right there and get on the Discord for direct communication. And the software information is number 1 for TradingView, and everyone should be hooked up with that. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. Finally, I'm working on the eSignal platform right there. It's a paid data service, but you can get a free access to our software. So you get the data and package, basic package from them. You get HPC from us. Check out that page too. Those are the platforms I'll be working on. All right, couple more. Let's wrap up this top 5 list. Quite a list. Binance Coin. This is where technicals come into play, folks. And we knew it early. We called it out under 290, even under 300. This was not supposed to do anything but hold 305. It failed. And I said this last time, and I really do think this could be another Solana. This could be another major 1618 breakdown, and you flush all the way through. You're sitting there right now, 230. That's a meaningless number to me. Weekly chart looks like this. Okay. All-time 886 on Binance, folks, is the only consideration if you take out the lows, and if you take out especially what is potentially that is a B point at around 215, the only thing you got there is an 886. And that would be ugly. I mean, that would be a real devastating industry-wide event, but that's $80. That's, for me, we're always looking for that development. We're always looking for the MW formation. How do we know if it's not going to work out? Usually we get a sideways behavior that then rolls over. Oh, sorry, hold on. Let's get that out of the way. And we do something like this. You make a critical low and you go sideways 52 weeks. And then once you fail, your standard technical analysis comes back in. There's support. There's resistance. I mean, that's your basic TA at work saying this is still in a downtrend, and once you violate that, you continue the flush. That's what's going on with Binance Coin. If you're there, I'm not. You know what? I had a chunk of money over in Binance Coin. I haven't gotten it back yet. I'll keep you posted. I heard it. I didn't hear until it was a little late that they were shutting down. I mean, what a you know what. Number 4, XRP. Saw this thing, under 50. Here we go. XRP, again, 55 on the top side, 45 on the downside. Come on back to 45. That's all that's happening here. It was a shark on this most recent run, ran to the 886. Probably go to low as 42. But if you're an XRP, and this is one of the better cryptos, you either don't look at this every day, every week, and forget about it, or you're exasperated. I think if you're an XRP, the move you're looking for will happen in 3 to 5 years. So why even look at it? 42 now. And number 5, so this exemplifies crypto and the lack of opportunities. Here's Cardano. 6 days after hitting this major retest at 28, we finally decide to put in confirmation. 6 days. And every day that we progress further means it's only going to take more time. Now we're checking back. All right. There's no confirmation yet. I want to see a yellow dot. Personally, I think this will slide and go to the hop at 20 cents. And that's where things get interesting. Because if Cardano doesn't hold, then it becomes really one of the mega leaders for what will eventually happen is not only just a 90%, but I'm going to have to say a 99.9% complete collapse, where structurally you come back and you retest structural mega support level, 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents. That's what's going on here. Cardano, if it doesn't hold, understand this, if it does not hold 20 cents here, it will completely go back and it'll do a hex. How's hex working out for everybody? Pulse chain or no pulse chain? Hex did a 99.9.9999. Ridiculous. At a little more than half a penny, folks. And I know they got airdropped some other garbage, but there's, you can only recirculate garbage so many times. That's what's going on with crypto. Crypto's showing you that the real trading support, the real supply and demand is not real. The real supply demand is like there's no real demand, because ultimately it's just who's willing to pay the last highest price. And anything we have seen has been a straight up, straight down proposition. Yeah, Hex went to 0, Nicholas. But we didn't doubt that. I mean, for all the shenanigans that went around Hex, the guy himself, I mean, who knows where all that money went? Sorry. I mean, you're talking tens of billions of dollars have circulated through this POS into another POS. I don't know, where's the Pulse Doge Shibu chain? I mean, get out of here. I'm really, for those that, and a lot of people came to me through crypto. A lot of people discovered there's your Pulse Doge chain airdrop, whatever, straight up, straight down. Look, if it's your first taste of trading, welcome. You got burned. Learn from it, move on. But don't get dismissive in this market, because this market it's happening. Tech, AI stocks, mega tech, and then as it broadens out, the economy's still rocking. That's where the action's going to be, not this stuff. And the only hope that you have is a Bitcoin, is for Bitcoin to do something on a narrative of halving, but that won't be till next year. Interestingly enough, I will say this. The crypto miners have held their own. Now, that might not stay together here, but there's this Bit Digital. And you would think with what Bitcoin has done the last few weeks, this would be a lot lower. This looks like it's trying to blow out a bearish pattern. I think it's interesting. MicroStrategy, another way to look at that indirectly. Yeah, a little type 2 crab up there that never hit. But these aren't doing much. That's absolutely the take. They're still not doing a lot. Exactly, Zeke. Pulse Doge, Obama Connect. So, really, folks, that's why you come here. That's why you get hooked up with the software. That's why we run levels. We talk these markets. We're looking for the stuff that's moving. You know, we're looking for the Carvanas. Get in on that because you have to discern where those opportunities are. That stock was $5 not too long ago. Now it's 25. That's big money, and it's also showing you that thing has got legs. Several of those. Oh wow, look at that AI stock. There's another one. C3 AI. This thing has been trying to break out to new highs for this move. Look, this AI thing is reminiscent of the internet. And I couldn't imagine if some people have said that AI is going to be bigger than .com. If that's the case, that's a pretty crazy notion. Because NASDAQ with .com, we all kind of knew it was coming. Well, the NASDAQ was trading at around 1,000, even under 1,000 about then. And eventually went to 5,000 at the top. Where's this going to go? You continue to see stuff like Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, day over day. It's just building. What's AI got? Oh, I posted this yesterday, actually, in the Gold members. Look, I posted this yesterday. I won't go in there. Get in with the gold. There you go. Posted that type 2 pattern yesterday. It was back to back. 41 bucks. Sweet. I'll look at that. What else you got? Hype me your AI stuff. Sound. Oh, I'm down on that. I like that. What do you got there? Oh, nice. Look at that. Type 2 butterfly at $1.82. And that just bottomed in March. Beautiful. And now you're on a type 2 bat, but probably to 350. Here's one that I've been, one or two, BBAI. Okay, that was a couple of things. We had this big butterfly down here in BBAI around anything under 268 was fair game. And then you had this little 4-hour Gartley here, 2 of 2. So BBAI, I'm long that. The other one was this this Presto Automation. These are some low floaters. What was that one? Was that? No, that wasn't it. GFAI, thank you. That was the other one. Because that had another big pattern down there. Check out that shark on guard force. That's even nicer because you just had confirmation. Typical low floater. And this is what I mean by low floater. Volume, not a heck of a lot of action, and then it'll just spike. But you're looking for these 2, 3, 5x. There's a dot, though. And this isn't a nice spot. Who put that up? Mr. Kennedy, how you doing today? Yep, that's the kind you want to be fishing for. Down there at $5, $6. And looking for a target 1 on that. What's weekly? Nothing on the weekly, but hey, this thing coming out of the gate, traded in the 200s. You can get a lot of catch-up recovery, even if that went to $20. That's not a crazy idea. One or two more. This is POAI. I mean, you could pretty much put in anything AI and be looking at those stocks because they'll catch a bid. I'm looking for patterns as POAI, but that's not as nice as some of the other ones. And we'll circle back. Come back. Look, things like Nvidia, folks. This is, I mean, that's a monster. That's been it's been just putting up so many nice 5-minute patterns even after the fact. So stick with the big ones. Take a chunk of your money. Speculate with those low floaters. And, you know, I think it's a great environment. You know, after last year, okay, last year was just kind of a drag. A good thing that didn't go on for like 2 years or 3 years, which it could have. But we're clearly out of that. We got to be thinking new highs, folks. Really, across the board. Got to be thinking S&P. If it's not this year, next year will be all-time new highs. If it's Dow's going to make a big move. I'll talk about some of those bigger potential targets next week, but the way to play it is with the options. So join me on the 30th, and that's open to anybody that's a new subscriber. You want to upgrade now, your trial, or purchase the software, or people that have purchased the program in the last few months, you guys want to attend, send me a note on Discord. But there's the information. It's on the basic members page about what we're going to do on the 30th. Again, you don't need the option data. It's not mandatory, but it really helps. And of course, you can follow along with what I do on the Discord because I popped this Nvidia chart. It's a perfect pattern here on Nvidia. This trade, we've been long this trade. Jeez, look at Meta. My God. 280 now. And yeah, here's the Nvidia trade. Where's that Nvidia? It was the 440s. There it is. Nvidia 440s. Just today. There you go. Right down at 188 at the hop level with a couple of different 5-minute patterns. And these are moving, you know, quite well within the weekly time frame. You know, a week ago that was trading 50 cents. We'll cover more of this in that session. You really don't want to miss it, especially with where we are in this environment. All right, let's give away one more gold membership for all the hangers on. And visuals with Vlad. We'll save Pepe for next week. I'm telling you, I don't know what the angle would be on Pepe. I would not commit any new money. I hope I get my money out of Binance US if it doesn't get locked up there. If I get locked up at Binance US, folks, I might just absolutely, you know, remove the larger chunks. Because if it can happen at Binance US, it can happen anywhere. Hey, Lace, you win the gold membership and you get to go to the options seminar on the 30th. Make sure you at least get hooked up with TradingView, Lace. Everybody else, next Thursday, I will not be here. So we'll do a giveaway session on Tuesday, and I'll be away on vacation next Thursday. So until then, everybody have a great weekend. You know where I stand on this market. Until then, as always, go get them. Get with the